All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video, another WNBA video. It was a very busy weekend and a very busy start to the week in the WNBA. We have a lot to talk about. We had the Chicago Sky versus Los Angeles Sparks, a very entertaining and competitive game. In that game, we had Candace Parker's jersey retirement. Number three will go up into the rafters and will never be worn again. We're going to talk about that. It was a great ceremony. We're going to talk about the all star leading vote getters, tongue twister. They will be named the captains. We'll talk about that. You might have an idea of who it is already. And we're going to talk about WNBA expansion. Not the expansion that was announced a couple months ago for the Toronto Tempo. We have more teams coming. As you can see in front of you, we have Detroit, we have Cleveland, we have Philadelphia. We're going to talk about all this stuff, get into some details. And yeah, if you like what I have to say, like the video. If you have any opinions, comment it down below. If you like the vibes, consider subscribing. Consider, 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 consider subscribing. This video is going up on the 1st, is being recorded on the 30th. So if anything comes out, any news changes, sorry, it's pre-recorded. I just wanted to get this out as soon as possible, record this as soon as possible because I'm really excited. I'm super excited. It's such a great time to be a WNBA fan. Um, such a great time. But let's talk about this expansion first, because this is the hot topic. This is what everybody wants to hear. People do want to hear about the game, but let's talk about the expansion. So, as you can see in front of you, Cleveland has a team coming in 2028, Detroit has a team coming in 2029, and Philadelphia has a team coming in 2030. That seems like far away, but it's only 5 years. Um, Cleveland and Detroit aren't technically new to the WNBA. They aren't new. They've had teams in the past. Now, I'm going to mention their predecessors. The new team names, or if they're going to reuse the names, have not been announced. So it's the Cleveland Blanks right now, the Detroit Blanks, the Philadelphia Blanks. They don't really have a name. So what I'm saying here is sort of in the past. Cleveland did have a team that operated from 1997 to 2003. They were the Cleveland Rockers, and they did not do well. They did not do well. Their best season here is 22-10. Um, that was when I guess they played, was that 32 games, so not terrible. But every other season was pretty mediocre, pretty bad, and I guess this is before my time. So my guesstimation is that Cleveland wasn't ready for women's sports, and women's sports is in such a great place right now that they are expanding, and there's a team coming next year as well. The Toronto Tempo, like I mentioned. You have the Golden State Valkyries this year, which is we'll talk about them in a second. And women's sports is just such in a different place, and I think because Cleveland has operated so well these last couple years, in the sense of the NBA constituents, the older brother, so to speak. They've done such a good job of turning that ship around. The Cleveland Rockers, or whatever the Cleveland name will be for the women's team, deserves to come back. And it looks like for all these teams, they will be co-owned or fully owned by their NBA governor, um, older brother. So the Cleveland Cavaliers will have some hand. The Cleveland Cavalier owner slash governor will have some hand in the Cleveland, whatever they're going to be. The Detroit Pistons governor slash owner will have some hand in the Detroit whatevers, and the 76ers owner and governor will have some say or some pull in the Philadelphia whatever women's team. So it's very exciting. I think we'll talk about how these women's teams fit in these cities. I do want to touch on Detroit as well, because Detroit is an interesting situation because they did have a WNBA team by by history. By name, they still have one. I did not know this. This was news to me when I looked it up. Um, the Detroit Shock operated from 1998 to 2009, and then they became the Tulsa Shock in 2010. They moved down to Tulsa, and they were the Tulsa Shock till about 2015. And then in 2016, this is around when I started watching the WNBA. they became the Dallas Wings. And the Dallas Wings are still an operating team. They just had the number one pick in Paige Beckers, and she's playing very well recently. So I'm sort not confused, but I'm sort of interested to see, will they take? It's going to have to be a new team name, I assume, right? But if they do still use the Shock, and I assume the WNBA still has the rights to the Shock and everything, are they going to take away this history from the Wings, or is it going to be sort of a an Oklahoma City Thunder thing, when the Oklahoma City Thunder used to be in Seattle, but they still share history with Seattle, but they don't really, it's not canon, so to speak. It's not like they refer to it. A lot of people say this was Oklahoma's first championship. By name, yes. By history, they have three already when they were the Sonics. So it's gonna be very interesting to see how they do this. Um, I was trying to think of names for both these teams, the Cleveland whatever and the Detroit blanks, um, and I couldn't think of any that really resonated. And I'm not a very creative person when it comes to names, as you can tell from the title of my videos. Um, I just kind of say what's in the video and hope you guys click it. um, but I think it needs to be something better than people. This is a joke. People don't like the name Toronto Tempo because the logo's boring. It looks like the New Balance logo, except with a T. Um, I think they need to really do a what's it called, a oh, what's, it's not called a case study, like a group thing, and they go over names, because we can't have a boring Cleveland name. Cleveland Cavaliers is great on the NBA side. I don't know if you can like piggyback off that. Um, that would be interesting. The Detroit Pistons, and then the Detroit women's team. What would they be called? I do like the Shock. I really do, but it doesn't really scream Detroit to me. Shock. It would have to do something with like Cars, or like 8 Mile, or something like that. Um, but yeah, both of those teams are coming in 2020 and 2029. I'm talking about these teams first. I'm talking about them in order in the time they're gonna debut. Um, but the interesting thing about Philly is that Philly's never had a women's team. I believe they have a women's soccer team, if I'm remembering correctly. Um, I do want to touch on some of the financial aspects of this expansion. Um, I do want to say I watched the press conference that Kathy Engelbert and the new owners and governors had for this. And it was very interesting. Everybody seemed very happy, seemed very grateful to have their team back or get a new team. Um, and it seemed like all steam is a go on this, and they're going to really try to put everything they have into it, because um, there was some recent evaluations monetarily, and like what every WNBA team brings in. And would you believe if I told you that the newest team in the WNBA, the Golden State Valkyries, have the highest evaluation in the WNBA, the highest, with evaluation a valuation of $500 million, and that's 50 more million than the New York Liberty. Um, Crazy, crazy. If we This is provided by Golden State of Mind. I'll leave a link for the article in the description here. But there's also a tweet they have here by um, oh boy, I can't say that guy's name. I'm so sorry. He's on Twitter, and he tweeted out the evaluations for each WNBA franchise in 2025. The Golden State Valkyries, again, $500 million. The New York Liberty, 420 million. So it's not 450, it's 420. I don't know why they said that earlier in the article. And then the Indiana Fever with 335 million. Crazy. And then after that, it goes down between 200 million and 150 million in between the rest of the teams. So um, it's very interesting. A lot of people just look at the number, look at the headline, and be like, "Whoa, wait, how did they do that? Why are they so profitable? Um, as somebody who's been around the sport for a while now, who likes to dig into the nitty gritty, um, the bursting of the bubble comes in the form of the Warriors owner, who's also the owner of the Golden State Valkyries, who made a very smart play about, when was that? Almost 8 years ago, 7 years ago, when he decided we're not going to play in Oakland, we're going to move to San Francisco, and we're going to build the Chase Center. And the Chase Center was a multi-billion-dollar investment, you know, privately financed. Um, but the interesting fact about that is the they built the arena, so they don't have to rent it out. They don't have to share the proceeds of whatever to whatever other company owns the arena. They get all the money. The owners get all the money, and it trickles down to everybody, from the front office to the players to the trainers to everybody. And it's an interesting fact because the NBA has pushed for NBA owners to build their own arenas, and some owners have not been able to do that. They simply just they don't want to do it. They don't care to do it. It's not feasible for them. So they either sell the team, or they don't want to make renovations to the current arena. So they sell the team, or and they look for people with billions of dollars, like Joe Lacob and Peter Guber, who own Chase Center, who own the Warriors, who own the Valkyries, to finance this. And the NBA, I think the plan is, or the hopeful plan is, that almost every NBA team will own their own arena and be able to take 100% of the proceeds almost at any given time. So it's a bit of a funny way around. Like, well, of course, the the newest team with the, I guess, the most is he the was not the most profitable owner, like the richest owner, maybe, I don't know. It's funny because in that way, I own the NBA team, I own the arena, I own the WNBA team. It makes sense, why the WNBA counterpart is so profitable, because of the business savvy of this guy, of these guys, of this group, and it's really something. And I think the WNBA is on the right track in that sense of giving a team to um, the um, the Cleveland Cavaliers ownership group, or around them, because I think they own their arena. The Detroit, I don't think the Detroit Pistons own their arena, and I don't think Philly owns their arena. But these things could change by 2029. The Detroit could own the arena. I mean, he's spent a lot of money already. He's been in the Detroit Pistons for a long time, so um, this is a long, convoluted way of dragging this on to say it's a smart move for the WNBA to sort of move in this direction of, let's give one team that owns their own arena a WNBA team and see if it's equally as profitable as this first one. The Valkyries was the first expansion in a long time, and then we'll see with the tempo next year, and then the uh, the Cleveland women's team in 28. Now, I do want to move on to Philadelphia. Um, when I was having these conversations with people um, months ago, this was last summer, even when this was like speculated that there was going to be 3 more teams, 4 more teams, um, that Philadelphia might get a team. Philadelphia sports is not easy. It's not an easy place to play. Their football team just won the championship. Um, it's a tough place to play. It's a tough place, and you got to be really thick-skinned in Philadelphia. And Philadelphia as a city isn't the best right now. There's been speculation that the Sixers might move to across the river to Newark, and play in is it Newark? No, Camden. Pardon me. They're gonna play in Camden or somewhere around Camden. Um, I think that speculation died. I don't think that's anything to put too much stock into. But it's sort of a weird place to put a team. I think they're the last to get the team because it's so up in the air with the Sixers and are the Philly? They're still gonna be the Philadelphia 76ers, but they're gonna play in um whatever you call it. They're gonna play in Newark or pardon me, Camden, around there. Um, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with the Sixers and if Philadelphia is truly gonna have a women's team. Because again, Philly's a hard place to play. The fans are not easy on you. If you are bad, they're gonna let you know you're bad. And Philadelphia as a city isn't in the greatest spot right now. And I know it's the city of brotherly love, but it's tough out there, man. It's tough out there. It's gonna be interesting to see a women's team out there because you look at um, the map of where the WNBA teams are and are going to be. There aren't a lot of teams in the South for a reason. The South is sort of not as progressive as the Northeast and the West Coast, and that plays a big part in the WNBA because they're very I won't say political, but very mindful of these things because women's rights and women having autonomy and all that stuff is important to the WNBA, and they don't want to be in a um a city where the players don't feel safe. I'm not saying Philly's not going to be safe for these women, but it Philly's Philly's not the greatest spot right now. As somebody who lives on the East Coast, it's not the greatest spot right now. So I'm very interested to see how Philly's going to do. I'm very interested to see how this expansion is going to work. Because every year from now on, there's going to be an expansion draft, and there's going to be players coming in through college. Um, Juju Watkins is the on the mend right now after she had that injury, and it's going to be interesting to see where she tries to finagle her way to. Does she want to play in Cleveland? Does she want to play in Detroit? Does she want to play in Philly? Now they're going to be bad team that are already in the WNBA. That probably will get the number one pick because they still do the ping pong balls, they do all this stuff. It's gonna be a very interesting process to see how these teams are going to come together. Not every team is gonna be like the Golden State Valkyries. The Golden State Valkyries are very good this year. Surprisingly, they put a good group around the coach. They put a good coach in place. So it'll be very interesting to see um, what comes about in the next couple years for the WNBA. Now, to quickly, here at the end of the video, talk about some teams that are already in the WNBA and teams that have a lot of history. The Chicago Sky and Los Angeles Sparks played on Sunday. It was a very entertaining game. I watched it start to finish. And man, oh man, was it a fun watch. Um, my girl, Kelsey Plum, out there trying her hardest to will this team to a win. And they were going against the Chicago Sky team without Camila Cardosa, so they ran out sort of a different lineup. It was very interesting to see what they ran out here for the Chicago Sky. They had Ariel Atkins out there. They had Rebecca Allen. They had Rachel Banham. They had Elizabeth Williams. And they had Angel Reese, who's been putting together a great couple games, like a good 3 to 5 games here. To talk about Angel for a minute here, 24 points, 7 assists, 16 rebounds, 2 blocks, 1 steal, 4 turnovers, 5 personal fouls. Got to clean that up a little bit, but I understand there's a lot of pressure on you just being the single person right now, the single star in this team, so to speak. And yeah, I really like this game for Angel. I really did. I really like this game, man. And I'm becoming a fan. Everything that I was critical of her about did happen in this game, but she turned it into a positive. Um, she's been having a great string of games here, passing the ball. Obviously, rebounding is her forte. She's known for that. The me bounds. Um, the scoring has been so much better. She had a crazy um, sequence where I don't know if she got fed the ball and she brought it up, but she got into the paint right under the basket and she faked, and the person didn't move, and one of her teammates came sprinting down to fill the lane right next to Angel. Angel took a second, looked around, saw her, and then passed the ball around the opposing player to her teammate. And I saw that. I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. That was an amazing pass. It was really, really astonishing. And that's all I ever wanted from Angel. All my criticisms of Angel was she needs to slow down, she needs to take her time, she needs to pass the ball a little bit better. She needs to find her open teammates because she causes so much ruckus in the paint that the attention is on her. So you have like one, two, three players on you in the paint. That's two teammates open in the corner right by you. Um, and it's just opened up her game a little bit more. And I'm still a Camila Cardoso fan. I think she's the better player. But Angel has shown me a lot over these last couple games, especially this game on prime time. She didn't sink, she swam. Well, at least she treaded water, and that's better than she had been doing earlier in the season. The 4 turnovers, the 5 personal fouls, I can excuse this game because the passing was great. The um, the rebounding, of course, is always great, and the scoring was great. She took her time. She really didn't have any post moves. She was still throwing it up, but she was throwing it up conservatively enough to where it converted. She was 10 of 19 from field goal. She did attempt 2 threes. Um, I don't want to see her taking threes. Screw the threes. Don't take them, Angel. You can like keep them honest. Take like one, but like don't take the threes. Fake them, drive to the basket, put it up, try to get the foul. She shot 4 free throws, made all 4 of them. Superb stuff from Angel. You get an A++ from me today or yesterday. Errol Atkins, also for Chicago Sky, 20 points, good stuff. Open up the floor a little bit, 2 of 5 from 3, shot 4 free throws, 7 of 12 overall from field goal. Rebecca Allen, another spacer, 2 of 3 from 3, 6 points. Uh, Rachel Banham, 3 of 8 from 3, 4 of 10 overall from field goal. All right, game, 13 points. Elizabeth Williams, 12 points. Monster on defense, 3 steals, 2 blocks. Really good stuff. And then off the bench you had Kia Nurse, who formerly of the Los Angeles Sparks, came in, had some bonehead plays. I don't know what's going on with her this season, but she is bonehead play after bonehead play. Um, but 14 points, 3 of 5 from 3. That's all you need to do. And she was originally, I think she was in the starting lineup when they took her out. Coach Marshall did so. Hats off to Coach Marshall. And now I'm not saying Coach Marshall deserves an apology from Chicago Sky fans. He still did a pretty messed up job in the beginning of the season. But this is what he wanted to see from Angel. Angel being more of a playmaker, using her size, using the attention she gets in the paint to make her teammates better, leaving teammates open or getting teammates open looks by her, distracting everybody in the paint. Phenomenal stuff. We'll see if they can carry this on. I mean, I think we talked about them in my last WNBA video, so I'm not going to go into too much detail of their next couple games, but um, they play Minnesota next. That's going to be a tough one. Washington's going to be a tough one. Dallas, Minnesota again. Minnesota back to back in a baseball series at home, though. Atlanta is going to be a tough one, but this was needed. If they go on a little bit of a skid, I can't be mad. They're not going to get Camila back for a little while. She has international obligations for her international team in Brazil. So it's just going to be Angel Reese and company for the next couple games. Let's talk about the Los Angeles Sparks. But before we do, I want to talk about the um, Candace Parker jersey retirement. Number 3, great ceremony. Loved everything she had to say. Candace Parker was the 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 lovely lady in the video in the thumbnail that you guys clicked. Um, All time great. I don't want to spend too much time on her. If you watch the WNBA, you know about Candace Parker. She's considered one of the goats. Not my goat personally. She was a little bit before my time. Um, a little bit before my time. Before I started watching, I only saw her end of her stint in Los Angeles, where it was a little rocky. The team wasn't as good. Um, and then I saw her in Chicago. And what she did in Chicago was amazing. She played for both of these teams. I became a fan of her in Chicago, um, and a fan of her Olympic play. But it was a great ceremony. Her kids were there. Her wife was there. Um, to hang your jersey in what was the Staples Center, now the Crypto.com Arena, is great. To go up with other WNBA legends, to go up with NBA legends like Shaq, Kobe, Jerry West, Wilt, to be in that same arena, just up there with them, means a lot. And it's about time. It's about damn time. And it makes me feel sort of old that I you see these players that I was watching. Again, I was late to the party, but I was watching Candace Parker ball out in Chicago a handful of years ago, and now she just got her jersey retired. It was great. Talk about the Los Angeles Sparks. Los Angeles Sparks lost this game 85 to the Chicago Sky 92. They did have some great runs in there, some really hard fought runs. They started the third quarter off great, and then they lost all their momentum going into the fourth at the end of the third, and they just never really could get the momentum back. And it wasn't due to the team not trying. I mean, Kelsey Plum, 22 points, 12 free throws, 4 of 16 overall from field goal, 2 of 9. Not her best game. 2 steals, 7 assists, 5 rebounds. Not her best showing. Um, this team desperately needs their pick from last year back, and Cam Brink, because the team looks sort of mushy in the middle. They look sort of flat at times, and ladies like Azare Stevenson, Dearica Hamby, um, can only do so much. Stevens with 17 points, made 3 of 5 from three, 6 of 11 overall from field goal. She's a floor spacer. That's all she really is. She gets down there in the paint sometimes. She has some really great rebounds at the end. She had like back-to-back rebounds in crunch time, which were amazing. But that's not her game. She only had 6 rebounds, um, 3 steals, or 1 steal, 3 blocks. She's good, but she's not somebody you should be depending on. She should be a accessory. She should be an add-on to what you already have. Dearica Hamby, who I'm a fan of, 10 rebounds, 20 points, 3 steals, 1 block, 4 assists. Again, she shouldn't be looked at to do this every night. She should be an accessory to what you already have. And what you should have is Kelsey Plum, Cam Brink, who's still nursing that injury from last year. I'm growing speculatory that we will even see her this year because we haven't heard anything. And when you don't hear anything, either that means it's really good or it's not looking so good. Um, Rickea Jackson did not play the best for the Sparks. 3 of 11 from field goal. Did not make a three. 6 points. Um, Emma Cannon off the bench for the Sparks. 15 points. 3 of 3 from three. Hit some really clutch shots in crunch time. But again, these are players that should not be dependent on to do this. And I commend them for trying, for doing this. They didn't lose. They didn't get blown out this game. They tried their butts off. But man, oh man, could it be better? Um, yes. Is it gonna get better? I don't know, but we'll see. Um, and that's pretty much it. I don't want to run this video too long because my recording software is getting some notifications, so I don't want to lose the recording. So we'll cut it here. So I'm gonna have to say, like the video. If you have your own opinions, comment it down below. There is a game on Tuesday. We'll talk about that when it happens. This video was supposed to go up on Wednesday, but then we got the expansion announcement. So you guys will get. This video was supposed to go up on Wednesday, but we got the expansion announcement. So you're getting a video today, first of the month. So yeah, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I already said that. And I'll see you all next time. Cheers.